So, the last bit we're going to do, and the rest of the afternoon basically, we're going to look at a recap on allergies, intolerances, and on lack of pranas, and what you can do about it and how you can spot them, and looking at in that sort of way. If you remember, just to recap what we said in week one, allergies and intolerances are actually two different chemical reactions in the body. Okay. Allergies, also known as type 1 response, actually the response appears pretty quickly. A maximum of about an hour. If something doesn't appear to about 4 hours, it's not an allergy. Depending how bad the allergy is, it might be instantaneous. Yeah. And if it's not too bad, so it might be a few minutes before you actually cop it. Now, by and large, they can be life-threatening. So if you, like with people with peanut allergy, bee stings, wasp stings, that's sort of eggs, yeah.
Spider stings
now, yeah. Then, we are looking at hospital whiz-off, yeah. And there's not really, there is a technique within health kinesiology that deals with that with allergies, but it's not a technique that would be good for Joe Bloggs to know. And there's a lot of riders come with it, and in the 12 years or so I was practicing, I rarely did what I call allergy work. It was mostly intolerant work. Intolerances are very common, but of course Joe Bloggs doesn't necessarily know the difference between allergy and intolerance. So they will tell you they've got an allergy, as in hay fever, blah blah blah. But it's not. It's an intolerant reaction. It's different antibodies formed, and it can take a little while for it to surface. So anything up to 4 hours, 12 hours before they actually react. Now, there are a handful of very, very common ones. So, wheat is one. Dairy.
Eggs. There was a little boy that I used to work with in a play school, and even the smell of eggs would set him up into anaphylactic shock.
Yeah, that is cute. Yeah.
And we had to be all trained with the old EpiPens.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's EpiPens when it gets to that.
Yeah. So that was very, very severe.
Okay, so we got dairy.
You're not going to say he was living on a chicken farm, are you?
No.
Dairy.
That would be awful.
No, he wasn't.
Okay, dairy, wheat, eggs. What else?
Intolerances.
We've got dairy, yeah.
Oh, right.
Is there intolerances?
Some fruits.
There are certain sorts of fruits.
Strawberries as well.
Strawberries, yeah.
Celery is one that can cause.
Really?
I've always eaten celery.
Yeah.
Actually, that one.
Yeah. The common ones. Yeah, celery's not that common, but
okay.
Yeah.
There was somebody I knew, she got her son, because he'd got eczema, was putting them on apple juice only, and it was the apple juice.
Yeah.
Because she thought it would be in the orange, and it wasn't really.
Yeah, orange is a common one. Not lemon, interesting, but it may be orange because we have so much orange, as in orange juice. Because the thing about intolerances is like the overdose of. You're having too much, or you've had too much, and you become sensitised to it. Coffee. And also tea.
Caffeine kick.
Yeah.
Coca-Cola.
Yeah. Sugar.
Sugar?
Yeah.
Quite often intolerances produce addictive reactions.
Yeah, so what are the other ones? Cheese is a classic. Alcohol. Other addictive things are about chocolate.
Yeah.
And plus, of course, anything that you're addicted to, you're likely actually to be intolerant to. It sounds crazy.
That was Debbie from Newcastle.
Yeah, no, it is. It sounds like a crazy.
My daughter was like that.
What do they call it? Non sequitur, oxymoron. But I'm afraid it's the case. There's something about the body likes the damage it does. What a better phrase. So I don't think I had a little list there. Oh, of course, plus of course you've got grass. You've got things that are non-foods like petrol, grasses, tree pollens.
There's like food preservatives.
Yeah, some MSG, monosodium glutamate. Some of the colourings, the orange colourings and things like that will set people off. House dust mite. Tell me about it.
Modern life.
Yeah, modern life.
Tree
Yeah,
pollen.
yeah. Fungi. So that can be mushrooms, and of course Candida's a fungus as well. You know, so yeah, there's a fair bit that have become under the heading of sort of common intolerances. Now, sometimes we're born with them, but sometimes we acquire them. And same with allergies, sometimes we acquire them. The most common thing is shock and stress that actually trigger this stuff off. And I've given you quite a big list there. Also, the biggest problem is prescribed drugs that sets this lot off. People who are, especially the ones, the things like for arthritis, the ones that are immunosuppressant drugs will actually trigger it, because obviously you're damping down the body's natural response. So it's like it's going to, instead of it reacting naturally, or instead of it saying, oh, I know what this is, it's like it's trying to work through a fog.
Would moving to a new geographic area possibly set
It could be, because if you release a certain stress off somebody, then their body might be okay. Because it's all a matter of how much stress the system is under. So the bottom line with any of these is stress removal. So from a holistic complementary therapy point of view, no matter what you're doing on the surface as regards foods, avoidance, rotation, or changing,
The physiologist that I was with for a time, she said that she found that most food allergies related to a past life trauma.
Yeah, well, it's trauma.
Yeah. So
depending how deep. That's what I said. Some things you're not. Well, some things you are. Some things are just locked into the DNA.
The thing about that though is maybe she was attracting those clients.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
the
that,
thing.
yes,
yeah.
I fully
So
recognise
it's-
that. Yes.
Really skilled at that. Well.
I mean, one of the things as well you have is if your digestive system's not working properly. Say your saliva's not salivary, alkaline enough. Your stomach acid isn't acid enough, and that's a very common one. It means then the body's not going to identify the food products that come out, and therefore when the time it hits the small intestine, it's like, what the hell have I got here? This isn't food as I recognise it. And so it may be that it's not so much the food itself that's the problem, it's the fact that the body itself isn't working well enough. And this is the sort of thing that sometimes comes up, might come up as a food intolerance, more likely to come up as not enough prana to deal with this food, because there's something actually not right within the system. And I think a lot of the more annoying digestive problems like leaky gut, like IBS and things like that, come into the category of there may be an intolerance there, like for example of gluten or wheat, but also present is some enzyme dysfunction in the system, which is actually making it worse.
I pH tested my saliva and it was very acidic, and that was first thing in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah, so that gives you an idea of what's happening to your carbs. Yeah. But the bottom line in all of it, if you can get to it, is the stress removal, no matter how. But you're going to have to deal with, to some extent, with the surface stuff. And avoidance is okay if it's not an important thing. So, although some people might not like the idea, avoiding alcohol is possible. It's not life-threatening. Avoiding coffee and tea, but you can live without it. Avoiding carbohydrates is a different ball game. And so that's when you can't say to somebody, just avoid this. I mean, particular types, yes, but if you find it's across the board, there's something going on, there needs to be another thing you can actually use.